Hello and welcome to Caching Waves. Just wanted to do an update on Rune. I got in the trade setup a couple weeks ago and it's been going pretty good. Just wanted to give this update for those who are in this trade. First of all, on the daily, I wanted to show you the impulse we had here. You can see my wave counts. They all measure out very nicely. Similar to Cardano video I just posted. If you run on linear charts, our first wave 1 and 2 came between the 50 and the 618 there, as you can see. We then extended, got our third between the 1.618 and 1.764 of our wave 1 off our 2. After that, this was kind of a weird extension, but it's about as close as I could find for the fib levels. It was just super extended. And what that was is the wave 1 off the wave 4 extended and hit the 1.618. But we channeled very nicely, came out of the channel in our third and came up and just came shy of it on our fifth, which looked really nice. We then came off in a ABC zigzag. As you can see, we had a running flat for our B wave, came down for our C for our W wave. We then had a running flat for our X and a ABC coming down in a zigzag for our Y. Came to the opposite end of the channel to the tick and came to the 786 of this extension. So looking really, really good for upside currently. We got in this trade on the bottom of this fourth, I believe. I'll zoom in and show you. But right now looking for this fifth wave to complete so we can anticipate another 5-wave move once we get a correction back. 5-wave moves are what you really want to trade off of when you see a 5-wave move, because it's likely the start of either a B, C or the start of an impulse. It's never ending anything unless this were to be some sort of flat pattern, in which case it would fail. But 5-wave moves, when you get a correction off that, that's the dream trade setup. So this is one I don't want to miss. Now, one thing I'm having trouble with is the extension levels are pretty nuts on the lower time frames here. I'll show you that in a second. And we're about to potentially break this support level, this resistance level currently right here, which would turn into support once we break through. But this is on log scale, so it doesn't look like it's that far away, but it's pretty far away, because if we break that and continue to go, our next resistance level isn't up here till like $2.90-ish. So a pretty big move potentially if we take off above this level for our fifth. We're talking about almost a 50% move to the upside just for the remainder of this fifth wave. But there's a lot of things that can be happening here that I've been tracking. As you can see, all my fibs at this level. Sorry, I track like 4 or 5 things at once. But this is the bottom. We got a 1-2 up, running this in a modified pitch, or sorry, just a regular pitchfork, just to pay attention to how far we come out. Our third wave came all the way up to the 2.236. This wave also came to the 1.618, but I didn't see it as our fourth wave because it's just so small compared to our wave 2. So it's most likely the third of a third. It's just a pretty tough wave count to see, but clearly a third wave. We're almost breaking above it now. So obviously we're on either a fifth wave or an expanded B wave. But we initially got in this trade. You can find this video from a couple weeks ago right here, right in this area. We bought between the 382 and the 618 here of this wave, because initially we thought this was going to be a flat pattern. We thought we were going to get 5 waves up here like this. We had our A wave, B wave and we were looking for 5 waves up from this area like that. We came a little bit lower, and then I realized this is most likely a triangle for our 4th wave. We came between the 382 and the 50 right here of the 3rd wave, which is the ideal area we would expect for this 3rd wave. And we held it, and clearly looks like pretty much a perfect triangle, and we got the reaction we'd expect off a triangle. So kind of difficult to decide what's happening here. So is our low for our 5th wave to begin here, or is this still the original that I had, and this is a B, and we're looking for 5 waves up for our C wave in a in a regular flat, and then we're going to come down for 5 waves, and this is actually the bottom of our 4th before we take off for our 5th. So you can see how difficult this is to navigate based on what's available right here. And our expanded B is taken off our 4th wave, off the low, so we can come all the way up to between the 1.05 and the 382 you see there in purple as our B wave, if this were an A, B, C, before we would consider this the impulse. So it's very difficult to navigate this currently. I just wanted to give you guys my thoughts because I did give this setup. I am in it. I'm way in the profit currently, obviously, got in down here in this area. But currently have this as a triangle and the 5th wave starting from here. I can get rid of this. This was clearly some sort of complex correction, ABC, ABC, something like that, but very hard to see, very choppy waves down at the micro levels. As of right now, we just broke trend. 1, 2. Even this is difficult to count, as you can see. You can count this many different ways. This could be a leading diagonal or an ABC. So right now, just sticking to fib levels. But what I do when I'm really unsure what's going on here is I'll just, since we're so far in the profit here, and we can come up and make that B wave all the way to the new highs, is I'll put my stop at the 50 currently, just below it at like 167, because if this is a 4th wave, we'd expect to hold that level. Or if you want to just let it go, you can just leave the low right here at the beginning of the impulse if you got in this trade already. But right now, currently not really a trade setup here. But if this is a 5th wave, and I mentioned we could move up to like $2.90, this would just be a wave 1 looking for a wave 2 to start our 5th, where we just take off to 280 here, and we'd be looking for a 3rd wave up, a 4th, and a 5th, something like this, right out to the edge of our pitchfork here. Could just take off like this, something like that. 1, 2, 3. That wouldn't even come back that far. Something like that to complete. But I wouldn't get excited about that till we break through these levels for the potential B wave high in the flat I mentioned to you. And that would just be an A, B, C, and then we go up for our 5th. So right now, I'm just going to move my stop up just below the 50 and let this run out. Maybe move it higher once we get a clear rejection where we could be getting an ABC for that 2nd wave. Because there's no real areas to pull the pivots right now. I mean, you can take at the 1.618 of this A wave. Right there at $2.08. It's also at the last previous high. But I really don't want to miss out if we get that $2.90 area ticked. Again, that whole area I'm talking about is right here. If we break over this X wave right here, our next resistance is up here. It's actually up at like 311, but we'd expect to pivot a little beforehand, obviously, as resistance. So just wanted to show you that on Rune, and if you're in it, you kind of got to make your own decisions. Obviously, this isn't financial advice, but I can see this moving another 50% to the upside if we break that level. So I'm going to put it at the 50 for now, way into profit already. And if we start to reject, I might move it higher and then look for an entry on that smaller 1-2 right here, where you'd expect to hold. If we come up here, this would be a 5-wave move most likely. We'd expect to hold this level. So I'd move my stop under that 4th wave if we get that 5th. Okay guys, I hope I didn't overcomplicate everything there, but this is the Rune update. I really wanted to update it because I gave that trade a couple weeks ago to people, and I'm sure some might be in it already and not sure what to do. But as of right now, moving my stop to 167. I mean, I got in here. We're already up 20%, so we might give back 10 if we get stopped out there. But it looks pretty good. It looks like it's impulsing again, so I got to give it more time here. Okay, guys, that's your update for Rune. I'll make sure to update this as we go, especially if we get the second one too, potentially for the upside. But if you want to check out my other videos, I cover a lot of assets. I give all my trade setups and everything, every knowledge I have on Elliott Wave. So this is not financial advice. This is just what I'm doing. Your decisions are your own. Thanks for watching.